Hey y'all, I would get cute and play a little bit of music before this, but I'm just gonna talk about what I want to talk about real quick because I'm getting a good connection where I'm standing and I ain't gotta walk all the way down the damn street. If it starts cutting out, oh, this rain getting ready to come in here. Um, yeah, it looked like some rain clouds are moving in. So I wanted to come and talk real quick about chart readings being mandatory. Um, the past few years I've been studying and going through this huge awakening and a lot of learning. And what I found is that I can find out a lot about a person along with your concern or situation. And I can tell a lot about you and your response to certain things through your chart, and not just the one chart, but your place of this chart, which is the houses. Okay. And so that's something that I'm going to start making mandatory, in particular, if I'm doing spiritual work for you. I don't necessarily have to do it just for readings. Unless you get the 2 hour, then I'll definitely want to take a look at that because it tells me a lot about you, tells me a lot about not just your experiences, but your emotions surrounding things, your mindset surrounding things, and it's very useful and helpful. And by the way, guys, if it cuts out, I'll have to go further down. But right now, I'm really lucky getting a signal where I'm at. I can't wait till they get this internet back working, y'all, because it's been rough. uh, the key to understanding yourself, and then as well as a practitioner that does practice in planetary alchemy, looking at your chart, your houses is so important. So, one thing that Spirit was kind of talking to me about, which honestly I wanted to sit and watch The Nutty Professor. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go back in and watch the rest of this movie, honestly. But Spirit was just like knocking at my door, especially Hecate, saying that there's a lot of people out there that for some reason it is so difficult for them to let go of anger or at least transmute it. I think letting go is a process of transmutation, personally, as far as anger towards certain things. And we all know that anger goes straight to the heart chakra and it's not good. Your chart is going to largely depend on that. I'm going to give you an example for me. One of the reasons why I'm so resilient and why I just kind of move past stuff is because I have Pluto in my fourth house, which is devastating. it's it's a really powerful placement for Pluto, for Scorpio to be in my fourth house, and then I have Neptune in my eighth house, and then I have the Moon in my 12th house, which means that my resiliency and ability to transmute things and understand and see things on such a broad level is why I'm able to be who I am. But let's say, okay, and I'm not saying that it's a weakness because there is strength in all of it, okay? It's just that it's certain negative aspects that could exist. Like if I were to look at my fourth house in Pluto with that Scorpio energy, maybe I'm a little too harsh on people that I feel that are a threat to me and my family and my loved ones. Maybe that's a problem. Okay. But, you know, but anyway, let's say that you had in your eighth house Virgo, right? Or either Gemini. Though both of those are Mercury. If you have Virgo or Mercury or Gemini in your eighth house, which is uh Pluto, okay? If you have that in your eighth house, that is very, very powerful. Very powerful. However, if you don't know your power or even have never used it, then you probably more than likely hold on to stuff forever. Things that are not only messing you up, but could be negatively affecting other people. Okay? Because the subconscious is what affects a lot of us. Okay? And the people around us is the subconscious. So it was about 3 years ago, I began to advertise my planetary cleansing work and healing work. And I didn't even really know what it was about at that time. And, you know, through all the distractions and the static and the everything else, Spirit managed to break that down for me and give me a better understanding of what that actually means. So, for example, if you had a relationship that really hurt you a lot, like things were being done to hurt you, maybe there was some spell work that was put out there, maybe some folks got possessed. Goddess only knows what ended up happening. Okay. You know, I'm always one that can tell when someone is under possession really easily, like I can tell. But let's say that that happened and you have something in those areas, which your eighth house in Pluto has a lot to do with your relationships. The is that the 10th house? Whichever house that Uranus rules, if you have it in there too, like specifically Mercury, Gemini, or Virgo, you have a tendency to hold on to those things, and that can affect that particular house or either situation. And so, depending on the situation, for me, what I have found is that when I read your charts, when I read it, I can instantly see why you're having the issue that you're having very quickly. It doesn't even really take much studying. It's something that I can see just on sight these days. Understanding that is very powerful. And I want people to understand how powerful that is. It's basically the root of witchcraft when you're looking at stuff like that. It is. Even though it's in the cosmos, it's still connected to your astral and etheric, which connects to your physical earth reality. Okay. So people are being encouraged right now for this new moon, big time and heavily, to let go of anger, to let go of anger. And it's so difficult for people to do that. There are some people that are still hanging on to anger from 20 years ago. 20 years ago. And these things are causing the codependency, the drug problems, the alcohol problems, the social problems, the emotional problems. These things are causing that. And it's causing a lot of difficulty to a lot of people if you don't know yourself. So, what I've been doing is sitting down with people and better assisting them with understanding themselves, and how emotions, what's coming from the heart, is mainly affecting it, which is why I always look at those three houses. But I look at all of them. I'm constantly studying my own chart and getting better to understand what's happening. Okay. And so that's something that I'm going to make a mandatory part of my practice, in particular, even when you're getting spiritual work done. A lot of y'all that come in, oh my God, it'd be so much chaos coming in, flooding behind you. It'd be a lot. So, but that red salt that I made just pushes it all back. Like, get. Then I made another mixture that's even better. But, well, nothing's better. Sorry. My God and Goddess helped me create that salt. So that's something that I'm going to start making a mandatory part, like I said, of my practice, because it tells me a lot about what's going on. Now, a lot of people are like, well, you're not space exploring, you're not in a spaceship, and you're not going to actually go up there. Those are your doorways and your gateways, your houses in astrology. And so it takes being tapped in. Okay. And then, of course, I always look at what's in your south node, because the south node is going to tell a lot about the energy and the karma that you're bringing in from the past, either past and or past life. Um, and that is very important for you to know yourself and understand why. Like, for example, if you have a lot of war, if you have a lot of jealous people, you know what you got to look at? You got to look at your first house. Now, I'm going to take myself for example. I have Leo as my ascending sign, which is my first house in Aries with Mars. So that would naturally bring about a lot of competition, a lot of sometimes hate that it would take for me to get through. Okay. And, it's always a good thing. There's nothing wrong with it, but it just tells you a lot about why you're having certain issues. Okay. People always want to compete with you. People always want to, even with that ascending Leo in my first house has even led romantic partners to be in competition with me. And that's something that, with that kind of energy, it can be transmuted just by understanding how to transmute that. So, um, going through those particular 12 houses, no, I do not go by 13th sign astrology. That was nixed years ago, even though I know there's people out there that consider themselves to be Ophiuchus. Um, that was nixed a long time ago. Okay. I'm trying to think which house is connected to your social. I think it's that house in Uranus. So if you're experiencing a lot of social issues that you don't like, you can go and derive an understanding and energy from whatever is in that particular house to cure any social problems that you may be having. Your social life is really important, okay? And if there's any challenges, your houses are going to hold the key to a better understanding of what is happening with you socially to clear a lot of that out. Because I was actually talking about that earlier. Uh, um, I think that I think it's the is it the 10th house? whichever house that Uranus rules over, which I believe is the 10th house, if I'm not mistaken, um, that's going to have a great effect on you socially. But you can also look at what's in there and discover what's in there to assist you. I believe that hold on a minute, let me find out. Okay, so I'm sorry, it's the 11th house that Uranus rules over. Hold on a minute. Okay. Let me see here. Nope, that's not my chart. That's somebody else's. What do I have in my 11th house? Nope, that's not mine either. Hold on. Here it is. Yep. I have Gemini in my 11th house, which would be Mercury. Gemini in my 11th house, the way that I see it, is that it can have its weaknesses, but it can also have its strength because that is Mercury. But then again, where I could see that would be like a doorway, too much of a doorway coming in socially. There's a specific type of social atmosphere that I prefer to have for myself and my life. So, with that Mercury energy, then I could use Mercury as well as certain gods of Mercury. It's getting dark out here. It's about to rain, y'all. I can call upon those particulars, gods and goddesses to assist me with that because honestly, I need desperate help with that. Desperate, desperate. I do not want to be associated with or socially aligned with certain types of people. I just don't because it's not me. Okay. But also, another thing, if you prefer to work with both, because I work with both, there are certain spirits, I call them angels, that you can call on that are factually connected to the planet Mercury. Um, so it really does help, and that's something that, like I said, will be mandatory. And I think that it's also mandatory for you guys to understand exactly what it is that we're doing. Okay. But then again, here's what I want to say, it's not just about having some information, it's how you connect with it. How do you actually connect with these planets? How do you connect with them? How do you connect with the gods and goddesses of these planets to even do planetary alchemy? I believe that you have to connect with some kind of power to get connected with that. You know what I'm saying? I do. Uh, because it has its connection. But uh, so, yeah, that's something that I'm going to be exploring a lot. If you guys want chart readings, I love doing those because it tells you a lot, especially if you're on your spiritual journey, of self discovery, and I don't mind helping people with that too because I have a deep respect and faith in all of the gods and goddesses and spirits that I work with. So I don't have any fear of anything. I don't. A lot of people fear it. They want other people to be ignorant and dumbed down. I don't think so. Uh, Especially a lot of the women that I work with that need to really, really be empowered. But that anger, I'm going to tell you something. What you're being encouraged to do right now, everybody, not just men, but not just women, but men, is to let go of anger, no matter what it is. It can either be a past love relationship, it can be experiences from childhood, it can be anything. It's time to release it and let it go. Okay, is what I want to say. And this is the perfect time to do so. And while people are attempting to do that, I have a tendency to protect, to go under protection, because there are a lot of people. What are they used to doing? They're used to taking out their anger on other people. That's all they do. That's not going to help those people. Okay, which is why spirit is not allowing a lot of the stuff to happen. It's just not. You got to transmute it. I went through a very weird and, oh my God, I'm gonna have to tell y'all about it probably tomorrow. But I went through a very weird energy shift last night once, and it lasted for 24 hours. And it was just, it was so hard. Healing can be so hard, which is why so many people avoid it. They rather mask it, they rather put a mask on. The more and the more and the longer that you do that, the worse it's going to be. You know what I mean? There's certain things like the number one herb that you should have to help you through that, and you should burn it, you should drink it, would be motherwort. Motherwort is going to be key for this new moon as we go through this. In particular, you're going to see a lot of people. They're going to be talking about you. You can hear them. Some of y'all are telepathic. They're talking about you. They're thinking about you. They're thinking about you. Those people need to focus on self. They need to focus on self. Otherwise, what they're going to do is they're going to lead to themselves being eaten. Your emotional vampire side is going to kick in to protect yourself. Oh, okay. You're going to send me some negative energy. Let me transmute it. Let me use it. Let me get that. Okay? So that's the one thing that you don't want to do. You don't want to be raging against other people. You want to try to work that situation out to bring yourself to a place of ecstasy and peace and harmony within yourself. Okay. And so I think that this moon right here, because let me check my thingamajiggy. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. Today we are in Taurus, which is Venus. Yep. I knew it. We're basically, hold on. Yep. We are going to be in Taurus through the new moon, and then we'll move into Gemini. So it's going to be rough. It's going to be like a lot of heart chakra work. Heal it. Heal it so you can move forward from whatever it is. Quit blaming other people. Okay? I'm not saying people that you're at war with. If somebody is attacking you unprovoked, okay, I understand that. But look inward. The dark moon is a time where you have to look inward. Okay. Do not give other people too much of yourself. You don't owe those people that. You owe every single day to yourself. Those people have nothing to do with whatever your personal issues is. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. We got summer coming up. People are going to just take your energy and transmute it. I know that's what I'm gonna be doing. Oh, okay. You wanna come at me? Okay, let me get that. Let me transmute that energy. Let me get all that. Since you want to send it to me, I'm gonna take it. It just is what it is. Okay. Um, but I also think that this is a time for you to take that quiet time, sit with it, actually look inward, There's a lot of people taking out their anger on other people. You're not winning when you're doing that. You giving your power away to those people. You are. Okay? That's all you're doing. That's a fact. And I I don't understand why people think that that's okay. Just like having a reversal candle going 24/7, especially when you, what's the word I'm looking for, when you're not justified to do a reversal. Having a reversal candle going 24/7, that ain't doing nothing but feeding your enemies a lot of the times. It's feeding them people. You know what I'm saying? And I guess if you just want to give away your energy, that's on you. Okay. I think Mars Mars and Pluto would be the house and the planet that has a lot to do with transformation and transmutation. And certain habits that people have by going outward needs to go inward. Okay, is all I'm saying. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me get back in here because it done started sprinkling out here. Let me get back in here. Y'all have a wonderful day. I hope that this helps you guys with your new moon. A lot of people say, well, how do you release? How do you release? How do you release? It's easier said than done. Is it obviously, right? Obviously, it's easier said than done. So I would say start with your goddess or God or both. I would balance them. Like for example, when I work with Pluto, I'm not just going to work with Persephone. I'm going to work with Hades too. Why would I have an imbalance, right? Hey, Stefan, happy Sunday. Um, you can start with that. Start there. Start there. You know what I'm saying? If you got kids, look at your children's zodiac sign. Find out who are the gods and goddesses of their sign. I know that I have two Pisces children. So for me, it's, when I look at the gods of my children, Poseidon and Salacia. Okay. I have an older son that is a Leo, Apollo, Ra, Thea. And then I have an Aries child, which would, be, of course, Eris and Belana. And, you can start there because sometimes it can be difficult. A lot more mothers and fathers are recognizing when their children are being spiritually attacked. That would be a place to start for guidance. I know everybody is into, well, I don't want to say everybody. Like I said, there's a lot of people that watch this channel that are into monotheism. Hey, I listen, I'm not, I'm a polytheist, okay? Um, but maybe it's meant for me to open your eyes, maybe. Because, I was asking Spirit, why am I being aligned with all of these religious people that believe in monotheism? And I don't hate you. I love you still, but it's just kind of like it's such a vast universe to explore, you know. So that's how you can get through that. And I watched The Deliverance. Oh God, awful, horrible. That movie, The Deliverance. I didn't like it at all. It made my stomach turn, and I was going through something, and I just didn't like it. I'll come back and tell y'all why I didn't like it. I didn't like that movie. No shade to Monique or none of the people in the movie. I didn't like it. You know, I didn't. And I'll talk to y'all about why. Okay. Oop, I just saw lightning. Time to go in. That's my cue. All right. Have a happy new moon. Love you guys. Bye. Let me get out this lightning.